Welcome to the fourth edition of the Arctic Youth Network webinar series. Today's subject will be on environmental stewardship, and I'm really excited about today's talk. The Arctic is one of the areas that is the fastest changing in the world. It's worrisome, right? And it's something that we want to get involved with and want to have our voice and have an understanding of what we can do.
So my name is Þorgerður Maria Þorbjarnardóttir. I am the chair of the Icelandic Youth Environmentalist Association. I grew up in Egilsstaðir. It's a small town.
My name is Nilsson Abad. I come from Jokkmokk, Sweden currently. I am from a reindeer herding community and a reindeer herding family. So living in balance with nature is the core of the Sami culture.
Very close to my hometown there was this reservoir. This dam was built. It's very large, and planning agency said that it destroyed about more than 900 square kilometers of wilderness. For me, this was something that really got me thinking.
From a reindeer herding perspective, I'm just saying, yes, we are seeing an unprecedented amount of issues. So we have reindeers dying of lung diseases. We have issues getting food for them, and the summers are also volatile. We don't know what kind of weather we will get tomorrow.
We see the glaciers shrinking. Well, this is obvious. We can just see differences between years. But also we have been seeing a lot more extremes in weathers. We've had landslides because of a lot of rain. That's really extreme rain. We have this in the same year as a big snow avalanche, and just last week we had again, like they were evacuating towns because of snow avalanche risk. And none of this is new, but I think the frequency of it could be linked to just more extremes in the weather systems.
In our areas, again, this is mostly the just complete volatile weather. It's impossible to know what will happen, and it's such a risk because it just puts all our traditional knowledge out the window, because we can't tell if what we know is true anymore.
I really think that we have some responsibility here, as at least in the more like developed societies, that we need to look at ourselves and say, okay, I am the polluter here. I own a car. I'm privileging from all of these past colonizations. So I need to take responsibility for that.
Just being able to just taking to account on how we affect the nature, and to how to make sure that it recovers from our use is the most important.
These issues don't stop at the borders, right? When it comes to climate, when it comes to what is happening on the planet, we're all in this together, right? We're all on the same spinning ball.
Start to have conversations with the people around you, and try to influence people around you with your strong values of caring about the environment.
You don't need to live here to actually participate. If you're in university, you can usually find groups that are discussing our topics. Again, ask how you can help, and if you can help, then provide what you can do.
So what I've learned is that my voice, it really matters, and I've gained a lot of confidence that I don't need to know everything. I don't need to be a special person to be able to care about things and to be able to talk to people about what is important to me. Once you start getting the ball rolling, you can end up meeting a lot of people and important people. And so I've met all of the political parties in Iceland to talk about climate change. What keeps me energized is speaking to other activists. I really think just talking to people, surrounding me with supportive people, it's very important, because also activists frequently experience burnouts, and it's really difficult when you feel like you have the whole world on your shoulders, because you don't. No one person can save everybody.
And I also think celebrating the small victories, right? I think that's an important part. You need to, step away and embrace sometimes they're very small, right? But really take the time and embrace what was successful, right?
For me, just being able to take your mental health is the most important part to being able to actually do a change. Just keeping yourself sane and actually just realizing this isn't good for my mental health. Just then take a break, pull back, and just think just the small ways you can support your community, or just think about small things you can do.
And what I love the most about Iceland is going to geothermal places and see how the rocks have altered, so they become all of these colors. So it's very lightly colored mountains with all of these patches of green and red and yellow. It's just like a magical world, and when there's snow there too, then it's just...
I just get, every time I walk on the tundra and I take in the smells and I take in the sights, I'm always re-amazed by, how delicate and tough those landscapes are, for sure. And then seeing just tiny, tiny trees that are actually like extended across wide swaths of land, and that's a willow, but it's like this tall. Just walking on the tundra is the best.
It's something that I'm very lucky to be able to do. Not seeing a lake that is damaged by any kind of dams or those kind of things. Just seeing water in its purest form than been touched by anyone.
So if you are living somewhere and far away from the Arctic, just look locally. What are the environmental issues in your community? And if you just live a completely urban life, you don't see a lot of nature in your life, that is somewhat something that you need to take responsibility of, to realize, this book that I have, it's made from trees, everything that I have originated from nature, and I can't just separate myself from it.